Hey everybody! Everything in my videos is pulled from the public domain and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourself, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. So happy Saturday. I want you guys to know that first of all, I think I might have solved the problem of my voice going up and down on this video. We'll try it, and if it's happening again, please continue to write comments and let me know. Number two, I'm trying not to put out too many videos, but there's so much information coming out on a regular basis. I feel like I need to keep doing updates just to keep everybody abreast of the situation. So here we go. So to start out with, we all know that Meghan Markle and her attorneys have stated in court documents that she in no way participated in the book Finding Freedom. And of course, we also know that those denials were given in sworn witness statements. And now she has reversed herself and she's admitting that she did have something to do with Finding Freedom, which basically amounts to perjury. I believe this was done because they have been asked to hand over text messages and WhatsApp messages, and I think it was all going to come out in discovery. So to mitigate the damage, they just decided to own up to it. The next bit of information which has recently come out is Meghan is now claiming that Kensington Palace told her to write that letter, that it was not her idea, but they insisted because his narrative was making her look bad. Meghan had previously stated this was a private letter and it breached her privacy when it was shared, which of course makes no sense as part of the letter had been shared in People magazine and she didn't sue People magazine because after all, that article showed her in a good light. For those people who don't know how this all ties in, the monarchy has a very simple mantra of don't complain, don't explain. Because of that, I don't believe for 1 second that the royal family cared about Meghan's father and how his narrative might affect her. She's insisting that Kensington Palace insisted she write that letter and that 2 palace aides helped her write the letter. Jason Knopf and Christian Jones are the 2 aides who supposedly helped her, and they now both work for the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. Now, how that ties into the whole lawsuit is because Meghan is claiming she owns the copyright because Knopf gave her feedback and suggestions only. But if she quoted 1 word of his, then those words are technically his copyright, and there goes her case. Now, the next bit of information that came out, which you might have heard of already, is she's claiming in her court documents that she never sent her father text messages before the wedding because the man didn't own a cell phone. But of course, her previous attorneys who no longer work for her had already filed documents saying that Harry did text him before the wedding. Therefore, the man owned a cell phone. There has been a lot of speculation as to why Meghan Markle's attorneys separated from her, and I'm beginning to wonder if they knew she had lied about her participation in the book, if they knew she had lied about the text messages, and they just didn't want to be associated with that kind of behavior. What's really sad about the whole letter situation is that it was written to hurt Thomas Markle and to try to discredit him and ruin his narrative that he was an abandoned father. And this had to have been planned over an extended period of time. And Obed Scobie even said in a past video that I showed you that she sent this letter knowing it was going to be made public, but he didn't release the letter. And that's why I believe she sent her friends to People magazine to get him to release the letter. You know, it's pretty obvious that Meghan's going to do anything to save herself, and that includes blaming other members of the royal family for encouraging her to write this letter. I wonder if somebody said to her, have you spoken to your father lately? Have you written to your father lately? And she's going to turn that into, somebody told me to write that letter. This has nothing to do with the letter, but since we've just shown multiple lies of hers about she didn't collude with the book, she did, Dad didn't have a cell phone when he did, I just wanted to throw this in there where she claims she wasn't on social media because she had to keep herself safe from online trolls. And yet she was able to put a post up on a Twitter account for Social Media Kindness Day. So obviously she has social media, and yet that's another lie. I wanted to throw this in here just as another point of information to show how the media is being manipulated. This is part of an article from Vanity Fair where the Duke and Duchess have pointed out to people that they have paid for everything from their own funding. They have received no administrative support from Buckingham Palace or financial support from the British taxpayer since they stepped back. What they forgot to mention, or that a lie from omission, is that the other 95% of the funds came from Charles. And Charles's money comes from taxes from the Duchy of Cornwall, which is public money. Obviously, they didn't always have the cash to pay their bills because otherwise they wouldn't have had an 11-year repayment plan on Frogmore Cottage, which suddenly went away once they signed the Netflix deal. Now, another story just came out today that Princess Eugenie and Jack Brookbanks have now moved into Frogmore Cottage. So the story is that the removal vans showed up in the middle of the night and cleaned out the cottage because they wanted it to not be seen by people. And then Harry and Meghan handed over their keys. The story is stating that the cottage will still be Harry and Meghan's residence in the UK, even though they've emptied it out and handed over the keys. This smells of a tax evasion thing to me. The reason I'm thinking it might be something to do with taxes is because when Harry and Meghan paid back the money that they borrowed from and I say borrowed, from the taxpayers in order to cover the renovations of Frogmore Cottage, it was paid back in the form of a contribution, which means it is now tax deductible. So what do you guys think about the whole letter debacle and the fact that she has now reversed her decision on whether she had something to do with the letter? The fact that she's now claiming Kensington Palace is partly responsible for that letter? And what do you think about the fact that they have moved all of their belongings out of Frogmore Cottage but still claim it's their UK residence? What do you think about the fact that she's insinuating that two members of the royal family, Harry or Charles and Camilla no less, had their hands in the pie, so to speak, for this? Make sure to leave your comments below, and as always, have a great day.